So here advanced Java means how many topics here we will include here. From J2SE will include here JDBC, and from J2EE we'll discuss here servlets. Finally, what we are going to cover here from advanced Java, from J2EE JDBC, sorry, servlets, from J2SE JDBC topics. Okay, so leave about advanced Java. By using Java, how many types of applications we can build? The types of applications we can build by using Java. Types of applications using Java. Whatever it is, by using Java J2 SC, by using J2EE. How many types of applications we can build? By using J2SE, what we can do? By using J2SE, we can build standalone applications. We can build standalone applications, which applications are running in single machines. And we can build by using this J2SE itself, we can build client server applications by using sockets and server sockets. There, multiple computers, they can talk each other. Standalone in the sense, the simple example for this standalone is a simple calculator. A simple calculator. A simple desktop calculator is example for standalone. Coming to this client server. If you visit any hospitals, in hospitals, they used to maintain multiple machines. That machines, they will talk each other. A machine can talk with B machine. B machine can talk with A machine. So to talk multiple machines each other in J2SE itself, we have socket and server socket programming. So by using this sockets and server sockets, we can make client server applications. Okay, and coming to this J2EE part, here in J2EE, you can build web applications. By using J2EE, you can build web applications. You can build web applications here. Web application in the sense, a application, if you deploy in a server, if your application if you deploy in a server, like a Facebook application. If you deploy your application on a server, you can access that application from any browser machine, from your mobile devices, from laptops, from palm tabs. You can access from anywhere. You can access it from anywhere. Just you required what? Browser. Just here you required browser. By using these browsers, you can access this server. The Facebook application is a simple web application. Okay, and by using this J2EE, you can build one more type of application. Enterprise applications. Enterprise and distributed applications. Enterprise and distributed applications you can build by using this J2EE itself. How we can build? Let's say, I think you may know about ICICI banking, and you may know about IRCTC. See, by using IRCTC, you can book trains, right? You can log into IRCTC. From there, you can book your trains from here. You can open a browser and you can access trains from here. And as well as by using redbus.com, you can book buses from here. From this browser, you can book buses. From this browser, you can book trains. And in case from this redbus.com itself, if you want to reserve a train, from here this Redbus server, if it want to talk with IRCTC server, if redbus.com, if they want to talk with IRCTC servers, here interoperability if they required, or else if they both are Java applications, Redbus application if it is a Java application, IRCTC also if it is a Java application. From this Java application to this Java application, if you want to make a call, by using your J2EE, you can build such type of applications. We have EJB components. By using EJBs, you can build this kind of applications. Here, if your application, if you use EJB here, then that EJB classes you can access from this Redbus. And you can build one more type of application by using Java. interoperable applications. You can build one more type of applications by using Java, interoperable applications. Interoperable applications. Interoperable applications in the sense, let's say if you have Redbus application here, and if you have one more, GoIbibo, right? We have multiple like bus reservation applications. Let's say if this Redbus application, if they build by using Java, and if this GoIbibo, if it is by using .NET. So here, if they want to talk each other, like from redbus.com, if a user, if you try to log in from the redbus.com, if you try to reserve a ticket from Redbus, but this Redbus taking services from GoIbibo services, from here, this Redbus, if it want to access this GoIbibo application buses, and if it is in Java, if it is in, like if it is in Java, if it is in .NET, if they want to talk each other, here, you need to talk by using XML or else by using any other format like JSON formats. You need to exchange your data by using XML and JSONs. And this type of applications are interoperable applications. In case of interoperable, your Java can talk with PHP or .NET, any other applications. Okay, so these many types of applications you can build by using your Java. To build standalone applications, to build standalone like a calculator kind of application, what exactly we require here to build a simple calculator? From your J2SE itself, from your core Java itself, to build this kind of calculators, we have swings. By using swings or AWTs or by using Java FX, you can build these standalone applications. Okay, and for building these client server applications, we have sockets and server sockets. Where exactly we have these sockets and server sockets? In our net package. We have .NET package, right? Java.net, right? The package name is under Java.NET package. Under Java.NET package, we have sockets and server socket classes. So that Java.NET package also they given under our J2SE in our core Java itself. And the Swings classes also we have in our core Java itself. Okay. So by using our core Java itself, we can make standalone and client server applications. Coming to this J2EE. Under J2EE, what we have? Servlets we have, EJBs we have. Servlets and EJBs. So by using servlets, what we can do, this Facebook kind of applications we can build. Once if you deploy your application, web application on a server, you can access that application from any browsers. So by using what we can do this, by using servlets you can do this, by using servlets. Here, this one by using your core Java, Swings and AWTs. Here you can make this by using servlets or by using JSPs, by using filters or by using tag libraries. By using any one of these, you can make these applications. By using servlets or JSPs or filters or by using tag libraries, you can build your web applications. And coming to this enterprise applications, if a Java application, if it want to talk with any other Java application, and if it is if you want to deploy in a multiple distributed environment, let's say if it is in Hyderabad, if it is in Delhi, if they want to talk each other, by using EJBs you can build these services, and these EJBs can talk each other like your client server sockets and server sockets. Your enterprise application, one application itself, if you want to talk with any other application, here by using Java you can do this. By using Java EJBs, by using Java EJB you can make distributed applications. Distributing means one application you can deploy into multiple servers, or else multiple applications they can talk each other. Okay, by using EJBs you can do this. By using enterprise Java Beans you can build this type of applications. And coming to this interoperable applications, one Java application if you want to talk with any other language like .NET or PHP kind of applications, one Java application if you want to talk with .NET or PHP, you need to talk by using XMLs or by using JSON formats. In this case, interoperable applications you can build by using what? By using your core Java itself. In your core Java itself, you have support for this interoperability. For this interoperability in your core Java itself, we have APIs, JAX RPC, okay, JAX WS and JAX RS. By using these APIs, you can build these interoperable applications, and these APIs also we have in our J2SE itself. Okay, so these many types of applications we can build by using Java. Applications are, one is standalone, client server, web applications, enterprise and distributed applications, finally interoperable applications. So these many types of applications we can build by using our Java. So what we are going to learn here from this advanced Java session, we are going to learn web applications, how to build web applications, how to build Facebook kind of applications, okay, how to build web applications, not enterprise applications, okay. We are going to learn here how to build web applications. Okay, basically in case of web applications, what happens? One server will exist in some remote machine. One server will exist in remote machine. In case of web applications, one server will exist in remote machine. Like somewhere it may be exist, like in US or UK, somewhere your server may exist. That server application you can access from your browsers. In case of web applications, you need to access your application from the browser windows. You should be able to access from browsers. Internet Explorer browser or Chrome browser, okay, any browser, from any browser you should be able to access your application. These browsers, they can able to talk with server and they will give response to the browsers, and they need a medium to talk these browsers with the server, One browser it can be from India, one browser it can be from UK, one browser it can be from somewhere, some Pakistan, so and so countries. Okay, so these browsers, if they want to talk with US server, they require some network. So by using which network they can talk each other, these all should be there in a internet connection. They should have internet connection. They should be connect in one network. That network connection is internet. So here your browser, if it want to talk with the server, they need to have a network, right? So through that network, these browsers, they can talk with these servers. And the server side Java technology is here, servlet. By using servlets, you can write your Java classes. So when you submit data from your browser, this browser data server will receive, then server will pass that same data to your servlet classes. What are the servlets actually? Server side Java components. Servlets are nothing but simple Java classes only, but those Java classes can understand server calls. When you submit data from your browsers using internet connection, they will pass data in the form of HTTP protocol. Here data communication will happen in the form of HTTP protocol. They will talk each other by using HTTP. By using HTTP protocol, browsers will talk with servers, servers also will talk with browsers. If a browser, if it want to talk with a server, it need to send data in the form of HTTP. If server, if it want to talk with browser, it need to send data in the form of HTTP protocol only. Then if I pass browser data, when I pass data from this browser window, if you pass some data here, when you submit your submit buttons, that data it will convert into HTTP protocol. Who will do this job? From browser side. When you submit data, browser will do this job. When you pass something, username, password, if it is a simple login application, username and password if you pass here, username and password if you pass here, username and something, password if you pass here, and if you submit login, what happens when you submit login here? This username and password, it will convert in the form of HTTP protocol. Who will do that job? Your browsers. The known browsers are Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, we have, right? Opera, Firefox, okay, Safari, many browsers we have. So when you submit your data, this data, it will convert in the form of HTTP protocol. From browser side, who will do this job? Browser only will do this job. When you submit data, it will convert into HTTP protocol. That HTTP protocol data, it will submit to server. Servers will do what? They will convert this HTTP protocol data into, they will receive HTTP protocol data and they will convert the data into Java Bean. They will convert the data into Java Bean. Who will do that job? Your server will do that job. When you submit data from this form data, browsers will convert into HTTP protocols. That HTTP protocol data server will receive, and your server it will convert into Java Bean. That Java Bean objects it will pass to your servlets. That Java Bean objects it will pass to your servlet. Then servlet will get data from Java Beans. Servlet will get data from this Java Bean object, and after getting data, what it can do? It can read data, and if you want to store into database, if you want to store the data into database, by using JDBC, By using JDBC, your Java Bean data you can persist into database layer. Okay, how the communication will happens here, browser and between server, the communication will happens by using HTTP protocol. Using HTTP protocol, data will be exported here, and that HTTP protocol data servlet directly it can't able to understand. Okay, to understand that data, what server will do? Server will convert that HTTP protocol data again into Java Bean object, a simple Java object. It will convert your HTTP protocol into Java object. That Java object it will supply to your servlet classes. Then this servlet class can read easily data from Java Bean object. After reading the data, it can pass to database, or you can handle your required server side operations. Okay, to handle your server side operations, servlets require your browser data. That browser data it will send in the form of HTTP protocol. Finally, it will convert into Java Bean. That beans it will supply to servlets. Then servlet will talk with database by using finally JDBC. So in this way the communication will happen. Okay, we'll discuss later why we required browsers here, why we required servers here, and why the communication going in the form of HTTP protocol, why it need to convert that data into Java Beans, and why I should use only servlets here. Okay,